As he went on his way, Jesus saw a man who was blind from birth. The disciples asked him, "Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind?" Jesus said, "Neither this man nor his parents sinned, but his blindness could allow God's works to show. We must work the works of the one who sent me while it is day. Night is coming when no work can be done. While I am in the world, I am the light of the world." When he had said this, he spat on the ground, and he made mud with the saliva, and he spread it on the eyes of the man, saying, "Go and wash in the pool of Siloam," which means sent. The man went and washed and came back able to see. The people who had known him as a beggar began asking, "Is this not the man who used to sit and beg?" Some of them were saying, "Yes, it is." But others were saying, "No, it isn't. It's someone who looks exactly like him." He kept saying, "I am the one." But they kept asking him, "How is it then that you now see?" He said, "The man called Jesus made mud, spread it on my eyes, and told me to wash in Siloam. I went and I washed, and I received my sight." They brought to the Pharisees the man who had been blind. Now, it was a Sabbath when Jesus made the mud and opened his eyes, and so the Pharisees asked him. "He made mud and spread it on my eyes. Then I washed. Now I see," he said. Some of the Pharisees said, "The man is not from God. He doesn't observe the Sabbath." But others said, "Yeah, but how can a sinner perform such signs?" And they were divided. And so they asked the man who had been blind, "What do you say about him? It was your eyes who he opened." He said, "He is a prophet." But the leaders would not believe that the man had been born blind and that his eyes had been opened until they talked to the parents of the man who had been blind. Now, the parents were afraid of the leaders because the people had already said that anyone who declared Jesus would be thrown out of the church. And so they said, "We know that this is our son, and we know that he was born blind. But we do not know how it is that he now sees, nor do we know who opened his eyes. Ask him yourself. He is of age. He will answer for himself." And so for a second time they brought the man to the Pharisees, and they questioned him again. They said, "What did he do? How did he heal you?" The man said, "I have already told you, and you would not listen to me. Do I have to tell you again? Do you also want to be his disciples?" Then they reviled him. They said, "You are his disciple. We are disciples of the Most High. We listen to Moses. We know God has spoken through Moses. As for this man, we do not know where he came from." The man said, "Here is an astonishing thing. He opened my eyes, but you do not know where he comes from. We know that God does not listen to those who do not listen and obey. Never since the beginning of the world has it ever been known that someone who was born blind received their sight. If this man were not from God, he could do nothing." They said to him, "You were born entirely in sin, and you presume to teach us?" And they cast him out of the church.